Shawn. I wanted to do a video response to your response to The Amazing Atheist. I thought this video that you did with him was actually one of your better ones, mostly because you seem to be a little bit more sincere and not quite as adversarial or arrogant and witty as you have been in the past. However, I do think it's kind of a waste of a time to try and go back and forth with this guy, because he's just he's not willing to do this. And I found that there's really two kinds of question askers in this world, and one of them is the person who asks a question wants an answer because they want to know what the answer is. They want to learn. They want to know something. They want to grow. The other person who asks the question because they want to see what the other person is going to say, because they already have an idea of what they're going to say in response. They don't want to learn. They want to debate. They want to argue. They want to name call, whatever it is they're going to do. And TJ is one of those people. I never watch his videos. I've watched a couple in the past. I think he's just very offensive and really not worth my time. But if you want to go after him, you can do that. But here's why I'm making this video. You said some things in this video theologically that I was concerned about, because you have a lot of eyes and ears on your videos, brother. And I think you need to be biblical about it, especially when it comes to leading someone to a profession of faith. You don't want to lead someone to a profession of faith just to hear them make a profession of faith. Many people make false professions of faith, and that is a huge stumbling block. They make false professions because they've made a choice for Jesus, or they figure that God's going to help them get over their cancer, or get off of drugs, or whatever the case may be. We have to be biblical in who God is, how He saves, and why. And I'm going to just answer a couple of things that you mentioned in your video. You said God is trying to create a perfect world. God is not trying to create a perfect world. God's not trying anything. He's done. The perfect world will be after Christ returns. We have the new earth. Now, you've taught on these things before. I think you understand this. But God is not trying to create a perfect world. I don't know where you find that in the Scriptures. I'd be happy to hear from you about that if you do have an idea. But you also said that that God gave man free will. There is no, I know that this could be an unpopular thing, but there is no such thing as free will. And here's what it says in the Scriptures about that. Romans chapter 6, starting in verse 17. He says, "But thanks be to God that though you were slaves of sin, you became obedient from the heart to that form of teaching to which you were committed, and having been freed from sin, you became slaves of righteousness." That doesn't sound like free will to me. God chose His chosen people before the foundation of the world. There are many places in the Scriptures where this says so. And He does this sovereignly, without our input. We do not love God because we chose to love God. We love God because He first loved us. That is what the Scriptures teach. Now, I'm not just a Calvinist here, and I'm not just trying to spout Calvinism. I love John Calvin and the work that he did. I love the Reformed faith because I think it's biblical. But the Reformed faith is not limited to soteriology and the doctrines of grace. It's much more bigger than that. But in this case, this is so important, because if a person thinks that they're going to choose Christ, they're going to choose to love God, they could not be more wrong. And they're going to go on in this kind of false faith and eventually they're going to prove themselves to have been no Christian at all. Then you have to deal with the issue I just dealt with in my last video, and you can watch it if you're interested in it. Okay. Next thing is given a choice to love and obey or not. You mentioned something about God gave us a choice to love and obey or not, or that's why He created the world. He didn't create the world for any other reason other than His own pleasure and His own glory. That's it. We don't have any other reasons than that. He created us for His pleasure. He created this world for His pleasure. Love cannot be chosen. Not in regards to salvation. Now, of course, we can choose to love someone by any acts. You can look and see what love is all about in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I'm sure you're very familiar with that, with those verses. Now, you also said that you believed in God because you believe that He is real. I disagree. I think that the Scriptures teach that you love God because He first loved you. Because He chose to give you faith. He gave you repentance. And you spend every day on your knees because He has given you the grace to do so. We do nothing on our own accord. Nothing. God is sovereign. And I hope that that's a message that you will share, and it's a biblical message. And I would hope that you would go into the Scriptures and look at these things. And I do have to tell you, though, that the work that you've done on evolution, I think, is wonderful. That last video that you did, your latest one about how to falsify evolution, was wonderful. I very much enjoyed that video. I think that's your niche. I think that if you continue to do that kind of work, you'll be a great asset to Christianity on YouTube. I think that was a wonderful video. I pray that God would continue to bless your ministry on YouTube. Again, you're a very large channel on YouTube, and I hope you really take that seriously, brother. All right? Thanks. So, talk to you later.